It's usually said, never regret a day in your life, because good days give happiness, bad days give experience, worst days give lessons, best days give memories. That's why sometimes the end of a loose string can be the beginning of something greater. Our story today is amazing. A young West African man left South Africa with Europe in mind as his next destination. But then life gave him the United Arab Emirates. Without fear, he embraced it, and with a burning desire to make it, he sent so many job applications and even took upon himself to apply for the job position of a pilot without any experience. So stay tuned to laugh hard. It's your girl Nationality from the City of Light to the City of Blinks, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. I'll be right back after the intro. Welcome back, people. So on today's episode of Dubai Experiences, we have Mr. Elvis. If you've been following me on YouTube, there was one young man that came up to my YouTube channel. I had an interview with him and he spoke so well of one Mr. Elvis. So this is Mr. Elvis, because he was like, Mr. Elvis held his hand in Dubai and gave him some very good advice. And trust me, on behalf of Mr. Prosper, I really want to thank you. Because see, 60% of your success in the UAE depends on who receives you. You really did well for that young man, and trust me, he's doing amazingly well at his age, okay? And where I used to work, that's where he's working presently. And I will tell you, where he's working is top notch in the UAE. So when I met him, he spoke so well of you, and he made one comment. He said, Mr. Elvis told me to apply for everything, because Mr. Elvis was applying for everything. So guys, this is a prospective pilot, because he was applying and also applied to be a pilot, and he was so confident that if they called him up for the pilot interview, he would have gone for it. Okay, UAE made him to be so confident. You're welcome, Mr. Elvis, to my show.
Thank you.
So first and foremost, if you've gone through my YouTube channel, you'll see that I'm trying as much as possible to inspire people of the West African descent, because we're going through a lot. Some of us, not all of us, we're going through a lot. So I'm just inviting people to share their experiences, especially people who have had a rough time in the UAE, and now it's really opening up for them to come and share their story, so you can inspire someone out there, not only in the UAE, but somewhere in the US or wherever. Okay, so I'm going to start with this question because our viewers need to know, who is Mr. Elvis? Prosper spoke about you, prospective pilot, as we've given the introduction. So you just need to tell the viewers who are watching who you really are, what you are into, where you're coming from, how long you've been in the UAE.
Okay, thank you so much for the invitation. I also like to thank you for the great job you're doing, because what you're actually doing, you're encouraging a lot of people out there. You're making people understand what UAE is all about, because you know there's a lot of controversies about Africans living in UAE.
Thank you so much.
With such program, people get to learn and understand what people go through in UAE, and actually what comes out of them after a series of challenges and circumstances. Okay, my name's Elvis Fonji. Okay. Yeah, so I'm actually from Cameroon, Northwest region to be precise, and from the tribe of Pinyin, the Santa subdivision.
Okay, so how long have you been in the UAE?
I've been in UAE for almost 7 years now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I came in UAE May 17, 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, that is when I arrived in UAE.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. First of all, okay, his regalia is absolutely gorgeous. It's from the northern part of Cameroon, the northwestern part. Sorry, it's from the northwestern part of Cameroon. It's really, you look very colorful, and I like the outfit. Okay. All right, so let's go to the first question of the day. Why did you leave your country, and why did you choose the United Arab Emirates?
This question is a little bit technical, but one of the reasons that made me leave my country, Cameroon, was that I didn't have the opportunities I wanted back home.
Okay.
Yeah, and my dream or my aspiration were not actually to come to UAE because before coming to UAE, I had been out of the country before.
Okay.
Yeah. And I returned back home, and after some series of misfortune and disappointment, and things not going on well the way I planned, then I decided to embark on coming to UAE, which was not actually my will to come here.
So you said you traveled before and things did not really go well. So which country did you travel to?
Yeah, before coming to UAE, I've been in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, I stayed in South Africa, Cape Town to be precise, for almost 3 years.
Okay.
Yes, why in South Africa? Due to the fact that my family did not really like me being in South Africa. I have some pressure from the family to return back home and go to somewhere else. Like my aspiration when I was growing was going to a country like Germany. Because I had one of my uncle. I have one of my uncle there, which I've always looked upon him, and he's always been like my icon in the family. So he made me admire Germany a lot. So when I was in South Africa, I returned home to see if I can manage out to process documents for Germany, which didn't work out. Then UAE was like my last resort because I could not stay in Cameroon any longer. I did not see opportunities that would keep me home in Cameroon. So I embarked on coming to UAE.
Okay, so we are on South African matter, So what happened in South Africa? Can you just give us, like, because there's some people here, South Africa is their prayer point. So for you to tell me you were leaving South Africa and then you came back to Cameroon and then you had to come to the UAE as your last resort, what actually happened in South Africa that made you to return?
Actually, South Africa is a good place, or let me say to myself, it was a good place for me because I was not doing bad there. It was actually favoring me, but the only disadvantage I had in South Africa is that in South Africa it's very challenging to get an opportunity to work in a company unlike we have here in UAE. So there back in South Africa you need to hustle for yourself. Yeah, like you need to create a business or make yourself self-employed and hustle. Otherwise you have to embark on education, which is not very easy for some of us from, let's say, backgrounds which we cannot have sponsorship to study out of the country. Yeah, so after 3 years of staying there, I thought, okay, maybe I've gotten enough that I can relocate myself to where I desire to be.
Yeah. All right. So you came back to Cameroon and you chose UAE. So did you just come up with the idea UAE, or maybe a friend told you that there's somewhere called the UAE, or how did you come about the UAE? Because some people don't even know UAE itself as a country. Dubai comes first than UAE as a whole. So how did you know about the UAE? Were you in South Africa? Did you hear about it in South Africa, or did you hear about it when you came back to Cameroon?
Actually, as I earlier said, UAE came as a last resort. When I went back home from South Africa, I tried so many opportunities which didn't work out. Until I was totally exhausted of my catch. All my hard-earned money, or whatever I had
labored for in South Africa.
South Africa, went into thin air, struggling to get documents to travel to Germany, which didn't work out. I tried Canada, it didn't work out. I tried US, it didn't work out. And then as a last resort, since I could not longer hold myself back home, you understand the feeling that you are a bushfaller.
Is that feeling, yes. And you are seated, and people are just looking at you.
Just looking at you.
And everybody is expecting it from you. Yes.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah. So it was like a last resort. Who told you about?
I knew about Dubai while in South Africa because I had some friends already who were here.
Okay.
Yeah, back then while I was in South Africa, so I knew about Dubai. So when I came back to Cameroon and I was stuck in Cameroon since I could not travel to these countries which I just mentioned, then one of my stepbrothers who just left me in Cameroon at that moment and came to UAE, he encouraged me that, bro, why are you staying back home? You better come here in UAE, let's be pushing. It's not that bad. The thing from here, you can still pick up because now you look very frustrated in Cameroon since you don't have any forward, you don't have any back, you're just sitting there and people are looking at you. It's a mess up.
Okay.
Then I told him, okay, bro, I will try.
Okay.
Then he said, okay, if that be the case, I will send you a visa.
Okay.
Then you just look for your flight money.
Okay.
But to be honest with you, this guy, he sent me a visa. He is actually my stepbrother.
Okay.
He sent me a visa. I think I didn't pay for the visa.
All right.
Yeah. Then
he did well. He did well, actually.
He said, just go and pay for your flight. Yeah, because he knows I'm already aware of these things. Yeah. But when he sent this visa, to be honest with you, I was unable to raise the flight money.
You see, honestly, that flight issue has been some people's problem because I've had that story about not being able to raise money for the flight. Yeah. So this is like the third person saying the same thing. Okay, visa came so early, and I was trying to raise money for the flight. Yes.
Yeah. So I had to go helter-skelter, visit some uncles, requests from brothers, requests from friends, give me some money, let me see if I can pay my flight. This visa is almost running out because you have 2 months period to use the visa.
Yeah, or it expires.
Before it expired. So I managed until I think this visa was left just like 2 weeks to expire. Then God being so kind, one of my uncle gave me money for flight, said, Elvis, you should not be like this. Just go. You said you have this visa. Are you sure you are going to you? I said, yes, Daddy, I'm going. Then he said, okay, take this money, go and pay your flight. That's how I got the flight money, then I came.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So Mr. Elvis has explained how he found himself in the UAE, how the idea about UAE came to him. He was in South Africa before, then later on he went back to his country, Cameroon, and then because of budget constraints, because he's exhausted all the monies trying to go to Germany to no avail, then he had to come over to the UAE. So let me ask, did you make any research about UAE or you were just going with what people were telling you about UAE?
Actually, I didn't make any much research because, let me say, I already had an idea about how UAE is all about. Because I had my stepbrother who was here. Already here. Yeah, I have some very good friends with whom we were in Cameroon, which they were already here. So those are people who could actually tell me what UAE is all about. Yeah. They make me understand that it's quite challenging, but they believe that if you come with good faith, you surely make out something. All right.
So, you got into UAE.
Yeah.
What was the look of things? I'm asking about the weather condition, first of all, the accommodation, second of all, and the environment. Was it the same like they told you?
Yeah. Actually, first, to start with, when I arrived here, it's my challenge. Let me start with my arrival at the airport. Yeah, the weather was so hostile. Yeah. When I arrived here.
It was March?
It was May.
Okay, May, yeah. Very hot. Yeah.
Very hot. I think when I came out from the airport. It's when you open this airport and I came outside, the humidity was so high. It was like somebody had just opened an oven in front of me. It was very hot, scorching.
Okay.
So then I said to myself, really, I've arrived in the desert.
Okay. So what about the accommodation?
Accommodation was a big challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I arrived here, my stepbrother was in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
I went there, I met him. The accommodation I met there was not the type I've lived in before.
You've envisioned.
Yeah, I've envisioned. Though he highlighted me that they live in bed space. Yeah. But I did not have a picture of it.
You do not have a picture, it's like dormitories.
Yes, like a dormitory. When I got in, there was in a small room. I think they had like 5 beds, up and down, bunk beds.
All right.
And he was on the up bed. Then he told me, bro, me and you manage for up day. I mean, I will start.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that because there's a very big question for that. Okay. So what about the environment? You were expecting, UAE, from the map, it's in the Sahara.
Yeah.
Okay, so were you expecting what you saw? Because some people are taken aback when they come here because you're just like, okay, the beauty is something else. But what people have in their head about it over like in Africa is something different. So were you taking like, see moto, like see cow, like were you taken aback? That's what I'm trying to ask.
Really, actually, it was really amazing. When I came here, everything was like I was dreaming. Is this how the country is well built? So people are actually suffering in this country. See how everything is so organized. Everything is so clean. The roads are perfect.
Okay.
Buildings are skyscrapers. Okay. Then I was like, wow.
Okay.
I think I've arrived somewhere which
it's good.
It's good.
So let me ask you a golden question.
Okay.
What's the difference? Because South Africa too is well developed. From my own, I've never been there, but from my foresight, what I see, and I've worked with South African. My previous bigger manager was a South African, but the white South African, not the black.
Okay.
So what can you just give for people? Because I told you before, like South Africa is on people's prayer points. Okay,
exactly,
so what is the difference between South Africa and the UAE from your own point of view, because you've been in South Africa and you've been in Dubai?
Yeah, actually, the difference between South Africa is that and UAE is that UAE is well organized.
Okay.
Yeah, UAE is well organized. There is law in South Africa, but UAE is more strict, and there's unlike, excuse me. Also in the difference between you and South Africa, in South Africa you can meet street people, but in UAE I don't think
you can meet street people.
It's pretty difficult to see someone sleeping in the street in UAE. But in South Africa, this is
every day, every time.
Every day.
Did you encounter in South Africa? Did you encounter the xenophobic attacks? Because that's one thing too.
While I was in South Africa, I think 2012, I think there was xenophobia there. Then, but in Cape Town, we didn't experience it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where does the xenophobic attacks usually happen?
It usually happen in Gauteng, Johannesburg, Eastern Cape.
Okay.
It's very common there.
Yeah.
During that time, we didn't experience it in Cape Town.
Okay.
While I was there.
I'm just trying to ask another very pertinent question.
Yeah.
Did you feel racially segregated in South Africa? Like, how was it? Is it the same? Like, let me rephrase the question. People will always talk about racial segregation, right?
Yeah.
Is there a difference between the racial segregation in South Africa and, if there is, in the UAE? Have you ever felt it in a certain way?
I think in South Africa I didn't feel that, but when you meet, if you are not a citizen of or a resident of a particular country, there are some advantages. There are some disadvantages that you normally face.
Okay.
Yeah. You get into a situation where they will never look into your case properly as a resident or and national of that country.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is just what happens in South Africa. If you are not a South African, they don't really look into they don't really take you that
seriously.
Serious. Yeah.
So have you ever encountered something like that in the UAE? It's just a question if you want to answer.
No. In UAE, sometimes at work we can feel some slight, what do you call, nationality differences.
Differences, yeah.
Yeah.
Cultural
differences. You see that somebody will not tend to like interact with you freely as a national or as a national of his own country.
Okay.
That's just what I observe here in UAE.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So on the next question, you need to give a vivid account of your experiences from when you arrived in the DXB airport till date, making references to the living condition, the housing, the job hunts, the employment, the visa change. So this is like the elephant in the room question. Okay. I just need you to tell me how life has been from when you came, the changing of bed spaces. You said you went to Abu Dhabi. So just give it, spill the tea, because someone is out there. Yes, you who is watching me, you can pick up something that you're going through and it can help you, because he's going to tell us how he went through, how he maneuvered and got to this point.
I'll be a little bit brief.
Okay.
Because it's a long story.
No, just be brief, but touch the main point. Yeah.
Actually, to start with, as I earlier said, to get flight money was not easy. So I just managed to get flight money.
Okay.
That already gives you an understanding that certainly this guy did not have any travel income.
Okay.
Yes. So I actually managed to get that flight money. Okay. I paid my flight and I had just a very little token left with me. I could not even change it into dollars.
How much?
So I arrived in UAE. I can quite remember this record. I arrived in UAE with francs CFA, 28,800 francs.
That's basically $25.
Yeah, maybe $25 or so.
I have someone. That's a lot of money. Yeah. I have a video on my YouTube channel of a lady that came to Dubai with $10.
So
yes. So you were rich. Trust me.
Yeah. So this money was not even changed into any currency. It was still in CFA, because I was just leaving Cameroon. That let me go. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I arrived at the airport that morning, with Rwanda there.
Rwanda at that time was cheap.
At that time was cheap, yeah.
It was the cheapest flight ever.
It was the cheapest flight then. So I arrived at Terminal 2 very early in the morning, I think before 6 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. Then this my cousin, my stepbrother who sent me a visa. He never told me he's in Abu Dhabi. Okay. Even if he had told me, I would not know where Abu Dhabi is and where is Dubai. I just know I'm going to UAE. Yeah. So when I arrived, to be honest with you, I didn't have an Android phone as well, because whatever I had, I managed to sell it in Cameroon just to see that I get some. So what I had on me, luckily I traveled with my laptop.
Okay.
And then I did not have any Android phone. I was not connected to WhatsApp. So when I arrived at the airport, I called him.
Okay.
He didn't answer. The phone I had, I begged someone to call him, to reach to him, but he didn't answer. I think he was at work at that time. Maybe he worked night shift. Then what happened? My phone was this, what we call in Cameroon, Choronko. Yes, I bought it for 6,000 francs.
Okay.
So there was, lucky enough, there was internet connection at the airport. Yeah. So I had to, on my laptop, download an Android app. Yeah. Which I installed WhatsApp on my laptop. Then I could chat with him on laptop, bro. I arrived since I tried reaching you, but you and say, oh, sorry, brother, I was at work. And I'll be going back to work later in the evening. So, and I'm in Abu Dhabi. There's no way I can pick you up. You are very far in Dubai. I said, really? Then he said, okay, you contact this guy. He gave me one of my uncles was here, but he didn't know I was coming to UAE. He just told me, contact Uncle Promise, tell him you are at the airport, he's there in Dubai, he will pick you up. When he gave me this information, it was already about 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay. When I tried to contact the said uncle, he was at work.
Okay.
He could not come to pick me because he never had the program. He said, well, bro, why didn't you tell me yesterday you were coming? Maybe I would have taken permission from work. Now I'm at work. It's very difficult for me to leave now. Then I understood. He said, okay, when I will close, then I'll come and pick you. That's how it ended. To be honest, I stayed at the airport from that morning to about 8 p.m. in the evening.
Okay.
No one to pick me up. I was so damn hungry. Then he came. He said, welcome. I said, yeah. I said, what's up? I really have back for you. Since China, no, I chop.
So hunger welcomed you. Hunger welcomed you. Hunger welcomed you in the UAE.
He took me somewhere. Then I got up from the bed that afternoon. He was at work. I went downstairs to the flash drive memory stick that I had. I went to the car park. I went to one guy, approached one guy who just parked the car. I say, good afternoon, sir. I say, please, can you help me 10 dirhams? I want to print my CV. He said, okay, just wait. Then he gave me 10 dirhams. I did like that in that car park, and I raised 40 dirhams.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So actually